Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to show you an easy recipe for these delicious tortillas rellenos de queso. In other words, tortillas filled with cheese. As you can see, the cheese melts wonderful. I like to have these just with some salsa, but you can have it any way you like. If you want to learn how to make these, stay tuned and I will gladly show you how. Let's start off with the ingredients. I'll be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 250 grams of yogurt, unflavored, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of baking powder, 1 large egg, and the cheese of your choice. I'm going to use pepper jack and Monterey Jack cheese. To begin with, I'm going to empty out my yogurt into a bigger glass bowl, adding in the baking powder, the egg, and the salt. And I'm going to mix this well, making sure that the egg incorporates into everything. And I'm using a strainer, and I'm going to start adding in my flour. I'm going to mix this. And once I feel that it's pretty mixed in, I'm going to add in the vegetable oil. And continue on adding in the flour. After all the flour is mixed in and I gave it a little mix, I went in there with my hand and I did notice that it was a little on the dry side. So I added in a little bit of hot milk. Mixed it again and I still felt like it was dry. So I went in and added a little bit more milk. Now remember, it just depends on the flour. You may not need any liquid, but if it calls for it, you can use it. And once I got that pretty well mixed in, I put it on my surface and I am going to knead it for a good 10 minutes. You want this dough to come together nicely.
Because this thing moves a lot. I didn't realize it was on there.
After 10 minutes, I made it into a log and I'm going to portion it into 6. If you want smaller tortillas, then you're going to portion it into smaller pieces. But this should give you 6 good sized ones. And just to make sure that they are all the same, I'm using my scale and I weighed these out 225 grams each. Once that was done, I'm going to make balls out of this. So I'm going to knead it like this first and then tuck it, pinch it, and then roll it. And once that was done, I'm going to add it to the bowl that I already used and continue on with the rest. And And now that these are all done, I'm going to cover it with the plastic and cover it with the cloth. And I'm going to let these rest a good 20 minutes. While those are resting, I'm going to grate my cheese. I did use both 8-ounce bars. And now I'm adding in my egg and making sure that this is pretty well incorporated. Once that's done, I'm going to portion these out into 6 balls. And I'm going to just set these aside until I'm ready to use them. After 20 minutes of letting the dough rest, we are ready to start rolling them out. On a floured surface, you want to just roll this out first to a pretty good size, just so that the ball of cheese fits right in the center. Make sure it is right in the center. And I'm just going to bring the dough in, making sure the ball is well covered. And I'm pinching it. I'm going to flatten it with my hand so it'll be easier to roll out. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can always just smash it with a plate. And you can roll these out thick or thin, however you like. I'm going to roll mine out on the thinner side. And making sure the comal is hot. Want to place your tortilla on there. And cooking time is pretty much just 1.5 minutes per side. You want to make sure that the bottom is cooked before you flip this over. And those bubbles tell you that it's ready to flip over. Once you flip over, these should puff up nice and beautiful, and the cheese is melting in there. So if you did your dough right and you let it rest, this should be your result. Nice and beautiful tortillas. And continue on with the rest. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you make them. Don't forget to like, share, and click that notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video.